Episode 15. Walking Gracefully. Why? As the deep voice sounded next to her ear, Serena felt her ears were pregnant and they needed an abortion. What was he asking? Serena looked up and saw Jake's flawless face. You did not smile. Oh, so she should have smiled. Serena did not understand that. Before she figured it out, Jake had sat up, eyes on his cigarette. Flicking the cigarette, Jake had another puff, looking mysterious. Serena felt even more confused. This man, why is he always so hard to understand? Suddenly, Serena thought of her previous lifetime. When she had just married him, she had felt like the luckiest woman on the planet. All the women in town were obsessed with this man, while she was the one who could approach him and become his wife. Because of that mindset, whenever she had approached him, she could not stop herself from smiling. The happy smile and the amorous smile. However, she was no longer in love with him in this lifetime, so naturally, she had stopped smiling. Serena suddenly realized that she had not tried to mask herself in this lifetime. In her previous lifetime, it had taken her 5 years to turn herself from a wanton and ignorant girl into a mature lady, which was a painful process. However, this change had happened overnight in this lifetime, which was suspicious. When Serena was thinking about what she should say to explain it, Jake had already driven toward the Clark family. It had been a long wait for the Clark family. Arya sat on the couch, hungry and impatient. She pouted at a middle-aged man. Dad, the stupid Serena will not come. With her character, she would have come already if she wanted to. I bet she could not wait to brag that she is the wife of Jake. It would not take her so long. Let's eat first. Steven checked the time, and it was 1:30, way past lunchtime. Looking gloomy, Steven said to his wife, Call them to ask. Mrs. Clark nodded, and when she was about to dial, the doorbell rang. Arya went to open the door and saw the tall man immediately. Her eyes lit up and she smiled sweetly. Mr. Robinson, you're finally here. It was not the first time she had seen this man. However, every time she saw him, she felt stunned. The man was like the moon in the sky, cold and elegant. All the women in the city were obsessed with him. However, Cousin? As Serena's figure appeared next to Jake, Arya's smile froze as she felt incredibly jealous. However, as much as she disliked Serena, Arya knew what to do and let her in. Uncle? Aunt? Serena called, walking gracefully and smiling sweetly. Her demeanor was so perfect that she looked great next to Jake. As if her heart was clawed by a cat, Arya felt so jealous that she was about to go mad. Indeed, after she found herself a good husband, the bitch looked different. However, Arya was the legitimate child of the Clark family, so it was unfair that this bastard daughter was married to him. Ignoring Serena, Steven stood up and walked over to Jake with the best smile. Jake, you are here. Come and sit. Have you eaten? Not yet. That's good. We are eating late today anyway. Come and join us. Steven was smiling, striving to please Jake. Okay. Jake never talked a lot and simply answered. However, Steven felt a bit awkward and smiled dryly. Arya brought over a tray and said with a shy smile, Mr. Robinson? Coffee? Mrs. Clark also said, Knowing that you like to drink coffee, Arya went to learn coffee making. Please tell her if she did a good job. Looking at him expectantly, Arya was full of hope. Stephen and his wife also gazed at Jake. However, Jake glanced at Serena and asked, "Why are you standing there? Come and sit down." As Jake said that, the Clark family then noticed that no one had paid Serena any attention. Looking forward, Stephen coughed and said, "Serena, why are you acting like a stranger in your own family?"
You are Mrs. Robinson now. Stop acting like a child and sit down,
Mrs. Clark said. Serena had expected this scene. She was always nothing to the Clark family. Jake was always the honored guest. Without Jake, she was nothing. She walked slowly over and deliberately sat down on a chair at least 3 feet away from Jake. Based on her knowledge of Arya, she would not miss this opportunity. Indeed, Arya's eyes lit up when seeing the empty space between the couple. Holding the coffee cup on the table, Arya walked over to Jake and said,
Mr. Robinson, please try the coffee I made. I have been learning for a while. Let me know if I am any good.
As she said that, Arya sat in the middle of the couple. Jake frowned, as if he had touched some kind of virus, standing up abruptly the moment Arya sat down. Startled by this abrupt movement, Stephen was dazed. "Restroom?"
"I will lead the way,"
Arya said immediately, standing up. However, Stephen stopped her immediately. "That is rude." Arya paused. Stephen glanced at Serena and said, "You go." Serena did not get up and pointed in one direction.
"Go straight and turn right."
Jake soon walked around the corner. After the important one was gone, the Clark family could not contain themselves.
How was it being in the Robinson family? It is Mrs. Nola Robinson's birthday today. Did you give the present I prepared to her?
Mrs. Clark asked. Serena nodded. Mrs. Clark checked the direction of the restroom, making sure that Jake was not around, and then approached Serena to ask,
"However, I heard he did not like women all that much. Did you